and then increase your pace at that distance, and then increase the distance. And the whole long run I'd just be thinking about my Milo milkshake. If obviously a lion is not chasing you, but like just imagine that there's a lion chasing you. This is the ball of your foot. Try and find markers when you're running, kind of like try and go from, I don't know, tree to tree, or obviously if you're in a forest then don't do that. And that's how you get better and fitter and stronger and faster. Hello everybody, I hope you're all going well. Today's video is about a question that lots of you guys have asked me, and it is just about how to run faster and how to kind of build up as soon as I start filming my videos, like some motorbike just comes like zooming. Anyway, it's about how to run faster and how to kind of like build up your speed and your endurance in running. So yeah, I'm obviously quite knowledgeable in this topic because I have been running for the past over 10 years of my life, and I have run like at a national level. I've won races at a national level. I won 3,000 meters at nationals, and I've done really well in like 5,000 meters and also 1,500 meters. So those are kind of like my main distances, but I also do cross country obviously, and 800s at a stretch, but like at a stretch. So anyway, yeah, today's video is just about how to run faster. So I've split this video into different sections. So the first section is like technique, which is a really important part of being able to run faster. The second section is kind of like pacing and your program and how to actually progress and get faster and run for longer and build your endurance and your speed. And then there's the third part is a little bit on drills. The fourth part is on strength and conditioning. The fifth part is on recovery. So those are the 5 kind of parts that I have split this video into. So the first part that we're going to talk about is technique, because this is something where I really need to like practice what I preach, because my technique is like kind of bad, but you know, it's okay. I can tell you guys what you should be doing, because having good technique really does help you run faster. And I should say that like everybody's bodies are different, and like the way that your body is going to run its fastest will be different from other people. So you shouldn't have the same technique as everybody else, because I was meant to say at the start of the video, sorry, just interrupting myself, ignore the mess in the background. Sorry, I'm leaving with my friends to go camping tomorrow, so I'm kind of packing at the moment. Left it a bit late, but just ignore the mess. What was I saying? Yeah, so everybody's bodies are different, and so everybody needs to have a slightly different technique. You need to have a technique that's going to work for your body, and you've got to just kind of figure that out, because it's not going to be the same as someone else's, because your body isn't the same as theirs. But there are some general rules of technique that will help you run faster. So one is to run on the balls of your feet. So the balls of your feet is like, if this is my foot, this is the ball of your foot. So like almost on your toes, but like if you can't really run the whole time on your toes. So the ball of your foot is like the front part of your foot. You do not want to be running on your heels, which is something I'm really bad at. I run on my heels, it's really bad. You shouldn't be like a heel striker, you should be a 4-foot striker. So run on the balls of your feet. And that just takes practice, because at the start it's like really tiring for your calves, and I've never been bothered to actually do it enough times where my calves actually stop being tired, and then it's just natural for me to run like that. But that's something I really should do, because the reason for that is because you're a lot more springy when you go on the balls of your feet, and it's also just like it helps your stride, and it's faster if you run on the balls of your feet. So do that. The next thing is your cadence. So we're kind of going like from the bottom of your body up to the top. So that was your feet. Then with your legs, your cadence. You want your cadence. Your cadence is like how fast your stride is. So if you're going like no, that's a slow cadence. But if you're like no, that's a fast cadence. So you want your cadence to be kind of fast if you're running fast. Obviously, if you're running like a 5k, then your cadence is going to be a lot slower than if you're running a 100 meters, but you still want it to be reasonably fast to be able to run fast, and you want to just have like a really efficient cadence And again, it's going to depend on you and like your body's rhythm and how fast you like to run, but generally you got to have a pretty fast cadence, and try and with your legs pick up your knees and try and like kick your butt a little bit. Like, don't actually kick your butt, but you know, when you do drills, you do like high knees and then you do ones where you kick your butt. So that's to help you when you're running. You're supposed to run with pretty high knees. Like, you've got to try and lift your knees high and also like extend your leg at the back and like bring it through, so it's kind of like kicking your butt and then coming through and like going again. Okay, so moving up to your kind of torso and your arms. So with your arms, you want them to be going forwards and backwards, not like across your body, because you want to be running forwards, so you want all of your energy to go into going forwards. So that's why you've got to be pumping your arms forwards and backwards, because it's a waste of energy if you're like going kind of sideways. They don't have to be literally like straight along, especially in longer distance races. But my mum likes to say try and have your arms as if they're going along like a train track. So they should be like just going along a straight train track and just trying to keep them going forwards and backwards rather than like this. And yeah, the longer distances you're running, the more like this they can go, but they should never be really crossing. They should still be mostly forward and backwards, because like you want your energy to be going forwards, all your energy into like propelling you to go fast forwards rather than like wasting it by going sideways. So that's your arms. Then with like your head and shoulders, you want to keep your head up and your shoulders back. So this is the worst thing I do when I'm running. The two bad things, there's a lot of bad things. I do, all of these things I'm telling you to do, I do not do, and it's really bad. I should really do that. But when you're running with your shoulders, you want them to be like pretty kind of, they don't have to be like super back, but just like not like this. So I run too much like this. My mum calls me a hunched old granny when I run, because I run like this. So you don't want your shoulders to be like, don't hunch them, try and relax them, have relaxed shoulders, and like don't go too far forwards. Try and be like fairly upright when you're running, and have your head up as well. Don't be looking down, looking up ahead of you where you want to be running, and looking at the back of the person in front of you and trying to close that gap and get them and pass them. Also, try not to wobble your head when you're running. When people get tired, they often wobble their heads, so that's like a sign of weakness in a race. If you see someone who's running and they're running like, you know, obviously not gonna be going like this, but if they're like wobbling their head a little bit, that's probably a sign that they're a bit fatigued and that they're getting a bit tired. So you can pounce on that weakness and pass them when they're feeling a bit tired. So that's something to look out for in other people. But yeah, and also in yourself, try to keep your head and your torso like still. Don't like wobble them, because again, that's like making your energy go sideways, not like straight forwards. It's like a waste of energy. It's putting your energy into doing something that's not going to help you go faster. Okay, so that's kind of the technique section of the video done. I can film a whole video just on technique, because there's like a lot more things that I could say. If you want me to film a whole video on that, I can. Let me know in the comments down below. But now I'm going to move on to the pacing section of the video. So to run fast, to run faster, you've obviously got to increase your pace. So I was talking to my mum and sister about tips on how to run faster, and my sister said, well, you have to actually run. Like, to get faster, you have to run, and consistently. So consistency is definitely key. Like, it's better to go for a 3-kilometer run every second day than to do a 10-kilometer run once a week. But yeah, so to run fast, you have to increase your pace. And you do this by like, you don't want to burn out at the start, so you do this by starting off a bit slower and shorter and building up. So basically you start with a shorter distance at a slower pace, and basically you build up the pace at that distance and then increase the distance, and then increase your pace at that distance, and then increase the distance, and then increase your pace at that distance, and then increase the distance, and keep going like that. And so you want to have, if you have a specific goal, like if you want to run a 5K in under 20 minutes, then what you can do is figure out what pace that is. So that's going to be just under 4 minutes per kilometer, and work up to be able to do a 5K at 350 minutes per kilometer. So you might start by doing a 3K at 5 minutes per kilometer, then keep doing that 3K distance, keep running 3K until you can get it down to like maybe 4:30 or 4:15 minutes per kilometer, then move up to 4Ks. And obviously because you've moved up distance, you might be a bit slower. You might have to start off there at like 4:40 minutes per kilometer, but then move up to like 4:30, 4:15, 4:05, 4 minutes, then move up to 5K and you'll get a bit slower. So start at like 4:30 or 4:15, wherever you are, you know, and then move up and up. And by moving up pace and then moving up distance and moving up pace and moving up distance, you will build both your speed and your endurance, because you're getting faster and you're also being able to run longer, and you're being able to run longer at a faster pace. And that's how you get good at kind of like longer distances. And I am going to film a whole video about how to create running training programs. So if you're like wanting to do running fairly seriously, or get like a proper time in a certain event, or if you have like proper goals for your running and you would like an actual proper running training program, I am going to film a whole video on how to build a training program. And I'm also gonna set up something where I can write you guys training programs, and you give me your goals and you give me information about you, and I will take that and build it into a training program like specifically for you. So I'm gonna set up something like that. But basically, if you're wanting to run a certain pace, you've got to be training at that pace. So like another way, the way that I kind of train, because like I'm past the stage that I was just talking about with like increasing distance, increasing pace. I'm kind of past that stage. That's more of a beginner stage. Now, if I want to run a 1500 meters in 4:30, then I get that 4:30 pace. I find out what I'll have to run every 400 meters in the 1500 meter to get a time of 4:30. So I work that out as a 400 pace, and then at training I'll do 8 400s at that pace, and I'll try to hit 1500 meter pace for 400 meters, and then I'll try and do it for 600 meters, and then 800 meters, and then eventually in a race you're hopefully going to be faster than training, because it's on a proper track and adrenaline, and you've like done all your warm-up and you've like prepared for the race like more properly than you would have prepared for training. So that's also going to help you, like, you know, get that time. But yeah, that's kind of, if you want to run a certain pace and you want to run a faster pace, then you need to be training a little bit shorter than that distance, but at that pace. Okay, so like I said, I will film a whole video on training programs, but that's all I'll say for now. Okay, so the next section of the video is drills. Again, I am going to film a whole video on the drills that I do as a runner, but basically drills are a really important part of your warm-up, because they're dynamic and because they're helping you build good technique. So drills like high knees and butt kicks are helping you like build good technique for when you're actually running. You should kind of be mimicking that to an extent. It's exaggerated when you're doing your drills, but you should be doing it in like a less exaggerated way when you're actually running. And there's so many drills, and I will film a whole video on this. You've got like A skip, B skip, you've got like a grapevine, you've got side skips, you've got bounding, you've got like hops, single leg hops, double leg hops, you've got little big, you've got short sharp fast, you've got there's like so many different drills, and I'll film a whole video. Sorry, I should probably, if I was more organized, I probably should have shown them in this video, but I will film a whole video on that, and once I filmed it I will link it up here and in the description box of this video. But there's also like heaps of drills that you can look up online, and also actually that's a good point, going back to the technique point, look up online some really good runners. Like if you're a sprinter, watch really good sprinters. If you're a middle distance, long distance runner, watch more of the distance runners and watch their technique, because from watching a really good runner's technique you will learn a lot, and you'll be able to see how to kind of, you'll be able to like put my words that I've been telling you about the technique, you'll be able to see how it looks actually in action. And if you then video yourself running, and you can compare the video of yourself running to the video of a professional with good technique running, and you can like see the difference between you and see what you need to work on to get to where that professional is. So that's another idea for technique. And yeah, for drills you can look for some online. There would be so many online, but I will film I'll film a whole video of the drills that I like to do soon. But they're an important part of your warm-up because they are dynamic and because they're teaching you good technique. So the next tip that can help you improve your running is to do strength and conditioning. So do arm exercises, ab exercises, and exercises that are going to work all parts of your legs. So your calves, your hammies, your quads, your glutes, and then obviously like your core and your arms and your upper body and your feet. Is there something you can do for your feet? I don't know. Anyway, do just like, so I would search up online, but it's better to like go to like a kind of personal trainer or a physio person and get like actual proper kind of strength and conditioning program that you can do. I do have a video on my channel of a 15-minute full body strength and conditioning workout that I do, so you can go check that out if you like. I'll link it up here and down below in the description box. So you can go check that out. But strength and conditioning is a really important part, because building strength, especially once you're kind of older and once you've gone through puberty, as a female or a male, yeah, once you've gone through puberty, then you can really start like upping your strength and conditioning training, and that's something that can really help you increase your speed, because by increasing your strength, you're stronger, so you'll be able to run faster. And the last part of this video is recovery. So recovery is really important, because when you recover, your muscles repair themselves from the like damage you've done to them at training, and they repair themselves and they build themselves up to be stronger than they were before, and that's how you get better and fitter and stronger and faster. So recovery is really important. One thing to do in recovery is to stretch and roll. So stretch your muscles and roll them out. I have a video on how I roll out my muscles. It's literally just 5 minutes long, so you can check that out. I'll link it up here and down below. So yeah, go see that to see like my rolling, how I roll out my muscles with a foam roller. And yeah, just doing lots of stretching as well. At some stage I'll film a video on my whole stretching routine, but just trying to like hit all the different muscles when you're stretching them. Just try and stretch out each different muscles. That's a really important part of recovery. And the other important part of recovery is to sleep and eat. So it's definitely important to make sure you're fueling your body with enough food, and make sure you're getting carbohydrates, proteins, healthy fats, veggies, all the food groups, getting lots of fuel, because that is the biggest, most important part of recovery, is eating enough food. And then also resting and sleeping. Sleeping is a really important and very underrated part of recovery, so make sure you're getting enough sleep as well. Okay, so those are kind of like the 5 different sections of the video, but now at the end of the video I just have some like quick tips that you could use to kind of, they're kind of like hacks, how to run faster hacks that you can kind of use. So one of them, there's, how many is there? 1, 2, 3, there's 4. Okay, so the first one is to run as if there's a lion behind you or a zombie behind you, or run as if you like don't get to the next, I don't know, the next tree really quickly, your parents are gonna die, or like something really bad's gonna happen, or you could like turn it the other way and run as if you don't get to the next tree really fast, then or if you do get to the next tree really fast, then you'll win $1 million. I don't know, that kind of negative ones work better for me, because I'm really scared for those things to happen, so then I'll run faster. But yeah, basically just any incentive that you can kind of give yourself, like obviously a false incentive. Obviously a lion is not chasing you, but like just imagine that there's a lion chasing you and suddenly you run a lot faster. Obviously it's kind of hard to keep up. It's like if you're running, sometimes I run like, my long runs are like 14 kilometers, and it's hard to imagine a lion's chasing you like the whole time. But you know, you can think of different incentives, and I kind of like try and go from, I don't know, tree to tree, or obviously if you're in a forest then don't do that, but like if they're like, you know, or pole to pole, or I don't know, try and find markers when you're running. Try and have like markers that you see, so once you get to that pole, then find the next marker. Maybe it's a tree that's like 300 meters away, and you're like, okay, if I don't get there really fast, then I'm gonna be eaten by a lion, or then you know, something bad's gonna happen. So that's one tip that I have. The second tip, wait, I've written these tips down, but the second one does not make sense. I wrote down run with fast, but it's meant to be run with fast music. So personally, I don't listen to music when I run, because I hate having anything on me. Like, I don't want to carry my phone to listen to music, and I don't want things in my ears to listen to music when I'm running. I just don't want to have anything on me. But if you do listen to music, then listening to fast music can help you run faster, because you kind of like run to the beat of the music. So if it's faster, then you're going to be running faster. The third tip is to have a good post-run snack to look forward to. So when I was younger, when I was like 13, I went on these really hard long runs. They were just like death by hills. They were so hilly, and I was running, and they were sandy as well, and I was running with older girls, and it was really hard for me to keep up. It did me a world of good. I was running really well back then. But yeah, it was like really hard. It was like a good hard, but like at the time it was like dying hard. My mum would make me these Milo milkshakes after the session. So my dad would drive me to the long run in the morning, and she would make us both a Milo milkshake, and she would put it, and it had like Milo and ice cream and milk and all of this good stuff, and she would put it in a little shaker. Well, actually it was a big shaker. She would put it in a big shaker, 2 big shakers of just like bottles of a Milo milkshake, and it was so good, and it would be in a cooler bag in the car, and as soon as I finished my long run, I would get into the car and I would have my Milo milkshake, and the whole long run I'd just be thinking about my Milo milkshake. And sometimes that can be like an incentive to run faster, if you have something to like look forward to after the run, and for me that's always food for some reason. And my last tip is to track your runs. So I have like a running training program, just an Excel document on my computer that I like fill out. So I'm like tracking my progress and seeing if I'm getting faster, and seeing how many kilometers I'm doing each week and stuff like that. So I really recommend keeping a training diary and just keeping track of how you're going, because it feels like if I'm writing in my training diary at the end of the week and I've just been really slow, or my mum is sneezing downstairs. I don't know if you could hear that, but it was very loud. Yeah, if I'm like writing in my training diary at the end of the week and I see that I was really slow all week, I'm kind of like annoyed writing it down. I like don't like to write it down when I'm slow. It's just kind of like sad to be writing down when slow runs. So that's kind of a good way, because I know that at the end of the week I'll feel really good if I've like hit my mileage for the week and I've done like good paces and stuff like that. So it's just like a feel-good thing, and it's like a motivator to run fast. And it's also good because it helps you track your progress and see if you're actually getting faster, and actually being able to run first, and actually be able, oh my gosh, I'm getting tongue-tied, and actually being able to run faster and actually being able to run further and run faster, and just, yeah, seeing if you're getting better at your running basically. So it's like both a motivator and also just like tracking your progress. So you can do that on like Strava or something, or you can also just like have a training diary if you want to keep it more private. So yeah, so those are all of the tips that I have today on how to run faster. Like I said, I am going to make specific videos. Some of them I've already made and they're already up on my channel. Some of them I'm going to make in the future, specific videos on the certain parts of how to run faster that I talked about in this video. But this was just kind of an overview and like a summary of some of the things you can do to run faster. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for getting to the end. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe to my channel down below for lots more videos. I have literally so many videos about running on my channel, so make sure to go check some of them out and subscribe so you don't miss any of them. And comment down below any video suggestions that you'd like me to film specifically about running, because I'd like to film more videos about running. So let me know what you'd like to see, and my camera is gonna die.